So the chapter, the thing people clicked on this for. So do we do chapter ratings first or last? We did it last time. So I feel like we should do it first time. Which would be this time.
Okay. So the easiest way for me to first do it is to just compare to other chapters before I give like a numerical rating, because off the top of my head, I don't know what the numerical rating really means to me. So objectively, not necessarily a lot happens in this chapter, but I actually did like it for, I guess you could say, personal reasons. But I definitely like it more than the previous chapter because it makes sense. We're already beating up Nippons based on that. I think I like it more than definitely more than chapter 2. Chapter 2 is still probably the worst, but more than chapter 2, more than chapter 3, because I like anything with Jura. Jura for me is kind of like a motto where if he's just in the chapter, by default, I think it's good.
All right.
He's interesting, so that carries for me. So what was chapter 6? Okay, that was when Mitsuki arrives. What else happened in that chapter? Oh, that's when Shikamaru figures out Omnipotence. Okay. Chapter 5 was the Amato conversation one. I like that chapter pretty good. Chapter 4 is the one where they finish with the tree, the best scene in all of part 2.
Yep. I wonder how long we're gonna
Okay.
memorize what happens in each individual chapter. Like once we get to chapter 30, we're not gonna be remembering. Oh yeah, chapter 6 was this.
I don't know, bro, because to be honest with you, ever since I really got focused on Boruto, I do know what happens in every chapter beyond a certain point. The only parts that I kind of don't remember as much off the top of my head are early Kawaki arc and Ao arc, to where I don't remember the specific chapters of the events. But after chapter 34, I would say, like, I know what happens in each chapter now.
I mean, I
Beyond
could
that point.
navigate to things in the manga. Like, if you tell me, go to, like, the Kabuto versus Itachi fight, I could go pull up roughly within, like, 15 chapters, probably. And, the Baryon mode, I know around where that is.
Top of my head because I've looked at it so much. But for Boruto, it's easier because it's monthly, so there's just less chapters to go through.
Yeah.
But, like, if you ask me, like, for example, something beyond chapter 35, ask me, like, something that happens in a chapter.
What happens in chapter 42, the number of life?
That's still during the Boro fight. So this is before Momoshiki manifests. It leads right up until Sarada catches the core. Chapter 43 starts with like the end of the Boro fight, really, and then Boroshiki starts doing his thing.
See, I'm not good with numbers, but I'm good with when the chapter released. That's actually going on to the New Year's. We finished the year with Sarada
I don't know. I don't know that.
Interesting.
The only one, yeah. So that stuff I don't know. Partly because I didn't read the manga at first, so I was playing catch up.
Okay.
I do know chapter 65. That one was that was a December chapter, and chapter 66 started off January. I know that one just because that's around the time I was thinking about doing YouTube, and I started fairly soon after that.
Yeah.
So I know that one just because of that stuff. And then I guess I could reverse engineer the rest of the chapters based on that. But
okay.
Anyway, okay. So getting back to the actual question, chapter 1's fine. A little bit of annoying. I might say I actually enjoy it. Regardless of whether, I'm not saying whether it's better right now. I'm just saying based off personal enjoyment. So I think I like it better than chapters 1, 2, and 3. Chapter 7 for sure, definitely better than that. Honestly, probably better than chapter 6 too. So the only ones that compare for me are chapters 4 and 5. So it's in my top 3. It's really just it's all because of Jura and Hidari. First of all, they're funny. Like I like the comedy. This is one of probably the funniest chapter of part 2 right now. Just seeing Hidari and Jura be goofy in their own way. So I obviously like that. And then I just like anything interesting that comes with Jura as we see and learn more about him. So I guess that objectively, it's probably not top 3 chapters, but for what I'm looking for in this story right now, it's one of my favorites. I still think chapter 4 is objectively probably the best chapter though.
Okay, so before I give my take on it, so Kamui, what's my rating for the chapter?
Well, divine 10 out of 10
Why?
because Damon's in
Hey,
it.
there you go. You've learned. Good job, Kamui. All right, so to give
Like I said, like you use the same metric I use for Amato and Jura right now.
Yeah.
Except it's Damon.
No, when you said that, I was like laughing, like dying on the inside. Oh, perfect. Yeah, so now we got the same metric going on here. All right, going forward, now we know. All right, so I agree with pretty much everything you said. Specifically, I think objectively, this has like some of the least amount of content, quote unquote, in the chapter itself. But for reasons, personal reasons outside of the chapter, this might be my favorite chapter of Two Blue Vortex. Like, specifically what we're doing here, talking about it, and the things that happened that we are going to talk about. It will lead to some of my favorite stuff, yes.
Yeah, it just you know, like you said, objectively, is it the best? I'm probably not. I think chapter 4 is probably the objective best,
Yeah.
but all because of the ending. Like the ending was so good that it just is the best. But yeah,